Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Good morning, everyone. This is Angel from Have Faith, Let It Begin. Today is October 21st, 2021, and it's a Thursday, a throwback Thursday. And I think that all of you have been very patient, have been just waiting, very, very, very patiently waiting for me to drop, yes, a crazy date story. You see, last night I had a dream, and in my dream I remembered a date, and it came back to my mind. So much that I didn't even have to refer back to my diary area to live back on that date. No, this came back in my mind, and I said, oh my goodness, I remember this date because it took place in October. Well, we're in October, and it's a Thursday, and it's a throwback Thursday. So what better way than to bring back another crazy date story? And trust me, you thought the other ones were bizarre? This one may just take the cake. I call this one Dinner for Two. Maybe somebody else who's coming to dinner with us. Yeah. Crazy date story starts right now.
10 seconds to go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Check this out.
Broadcasting live worldwide.
Hi, Daddy.
Ariel, can you say have faith?
Again.
On June 16th, 2018, a show designed for you, the Daily Commuter, went live. A weekly show all about faith. A show with motivational topics, inspirational stories, and personal testimony set out to change the world.
Have faith, let it begin. One day you'll say it. Can you say have faith, let it begin? Huh? Yeah. Yeah? Daddy loves you. Daddy loves you.
Welcome to Have Faith. Let it begin. Here's your host, Angel Santana.
Ariel, can you say have faith?
Again.
Let it begin.
Again.
Say have faith.
Again.
Let it begin.
No.
No? Okay. Hello, everyone, and let's get started with Crazy Date Story, A Dinner for Two. Or is it three? Yeah, back in 2005-ish, the dates were really, at this point, gotten underneath my skin. So much that I just stopped dating for almost 6 months. For those of you that are just joining us, you need to go back into the archives. You can even go to www.havefaithletitbegin.com. There's a section on top, Crazy Date Stories. There's a lot, and there's a huge, huge amount. Go back and take a look. So, I was managing it was called, oh my goodness, it was a mortgage company, and I can't remember the name of the company. I'm sorry, I just drew a blank. But anyway, I was managing the call center there, and there was a young lady who was a veteran there way before my time, and she always would ask me, why I was single, because she would always compliment on the way I would dress and the way I would be polite and be just, courteous, and she liked my style, and she said, I just don't get it, I don't get it, over and over and over again, to the point where one day after the shift had ended, she had pulled me over to the side and said, look, it's driving me crazy. You're a good person, and I have the right person for you. And I, of course, by this time I've been on 50, 60, 70 dates, and they've been the most craziest dates ever in my life. I said to her, thanks, but no thanks. I'm really not interested at this time. And she's like, but why? And I says, well, and I let her in a little bit and told her that I've had a lot of unsuccessful dates, to put it lightly. She replied and said, look, but you have never been set up. Those are people that have been set up from friends, and it seems like you've had people that you've met in the wrong places. She says, what if I told you that I know a young lady who has gone through similar situations, has her head on her shoulders, has a career, and has a loving mother that is willing to do anything for her. And I says, I would say I'm a little bit interested. She says, good. What if I told you that girl, this woman, was my daughter? And I said, oh, wow. And I said, well, I remember, I'm going to change names here just for the sake of, argument and all that. And we don't have permission to use the names. So Beverly said to me, well, I'm going to lost my train of thought because some car just almost ran me off the road here, guys. Sorry about that. We're live. Okay, so Beverly said to me, listen, my daughter, her name is Dawn, and I want Dawn to know that I have somebody that I think she should go on a date with. So let me set it up for you. And I said, okay, you know what? Let me think about it. And I thought about it, and I said, well, this lady's an employee of mine. This could really go sour here. I got a veteran mom, that's willing to hook me up with her daughter. And at the same token, if something doesn't go right, I could lose my best sales rep. So I thought about it, and I'm not going to lie to you guys. The next day, she showed up, and she showed me a picture of her daughter. And her daughter was unbelievably just beautiful, mesmerizing. And I said, okay, set it up. She goes, well, I just want you to know, she's a little shy. She's probably going to want to talk to you first. Here's her email. I said, email? Okay. She goes, email her. I already talked to her about it. I says, oh, but you didn't tell her. She goes, well, I knew you were going to change your mind, so I already started the process. I said, okay. So she goes, as a matter of fact, I bet you if you check your email right about now, you probably would have had an email for her. I'm like, you gave her my email? She's like, yeah. So I went to my email, and sure enough, there was an email. And it was very, very nice, very almost like a business type of format. And slowly, one email became 2 became 10 became 20. A week had gone by. Yes, all emails. I was very interested by this because I got to be honest, I'd never done email dating before. At this point, what else could go wrong, right? I mean, everything else I've done was phone calls. You talk for hours, and then everything looks great, and then all of a sudden a date's made. I go out, and it's a crazy date. But this is email. How can you mess up an email? So we went back and forth, and one point she said to me, I wonder what you sound like. I've always wanted to know. And I says, well, we've emailed back and forth for at least 20, 30 times. Why don't we start talking on the phone? She agreed. And I said, look, if you're not comfortable, I'll give you my number. You can star 67, put yourself on private. So this way you don't think I need to get a hold of your number. I'll try to earn your number. You call me, and we'll go from there. She's like, that's very kind of you, and if you don't mind, I'm going to take you up on the offer. I said, no problem. So she called me on star 67, which, for those of you that don't know, it comes up as a private number. So we started talking, and we hit it off. Things made it better because I got a voice to go with, and I had a picture. So I had the picture, the voice, and 20, 30 emails underneath my belt. What I did notice, which was my very first red flag, and at this point I've become a pro of red flags, right, was that every time she would speak to me on the phone, eventually the mother would beep in, and she would have to go. So majority of our conversations would end with, I've got to go, my mom is calling. And I thought that was a little interesting, but because I was a mama's boy, still am, I figured we have something in common. I would drop anything for my mom too. Eventually, we got to the point where a discussion came about dinner. And I thought it was really, really cool that we were finally going to meet. So, on a Friday night, we decided to pick a location, a nice Italian place, and she said that she would meet me there at 7 o'clock. I said, sure. I says, I'd be more than happy to pick you up. And she says, no, I think it's better. We've been kind of platonic through and through, and I would feel more comfortable if I just met you there. I said, okay, no problem. Well, that Friday when I went to work, Beverly was excited to know that I was going on a date. She told half the staff. Everybody was excited. And she says, you're going to do well. Knock 'em dead. And I says, oh, no problem. Thank you. And as I was leaving and everybody was clocking out, and Beverly says, seriously, just be yourself. You'll do well. I know it. And if anything happens, don't worry. I could always walk you through it. See you soon. And she walked away. And I said, why would she say that? I could always walk you through it. I'll see you soon. Huh. Okay. Maybe she was referring to, after the date, if there's any problems, I can always, bounce ideas off of her. So, 6:45 shows up, p.m. I head over to the place. It was close to my home. And I got there, and she said that she was going to reserve a table for two under my name. So I showed up and said, yes, I'm here. I'm waiting for a guest. My date, it's a table for two for Santana. She says, hold on, sir. Yes, table for three. I've got that. I said, oh, no, it's table for two. She goes, your parties are already here. I said, excuse me? She says, yes. As I look around the corner, I see the beautiful Dawn, extremely happy to see me. I'm happy to see her. And then I notice that there's 3 chairs, but only Dawn sitting at one. And as I sat down, I says, I'm sorry, I was a little confused because the maitre d' said that it was a table for 3, and I'm sorry. How are you, Dawn? Nice to meet you. And at that moment, I got a tap on the back, and it was Beverly. That's right. She brought her mom on the date. The mother shows up on the date. Yeah. Wasn't expecting that. Gotta be honest. Was a little bit relieved because I had a very good foundation with Beverly. And I felt as if Beverly was on my side. So what could go wrong? Well, dinner for 2 became dinner for 3 with Mom. Yeah, and that's where the date starts. And for all of you, that's where today's episode ends. No, I'm just kidding, guys. I would never do that to you. So I go to the date. We sit down, we order our food, everything is great, and we start eating the appetizer. Everything's a good time. We're having a good time. I'm starting to believe that this is not a bad idea, that maybe all mothers should come to the dates with their daughters. And then things started to turn. Yeah, things started to turn. You see, what happened next was very, very, very interesting. Very, very weird. When the meal arrived, she had ordered a steak. The meal arrived, and I saw the mom take out the napkin that you take out, and she started to place it on her daughter's lap. And she asked her daughter how she wants it cut up. And I'm like, cut up? You see, the mother was cutting the meat for her daughter. And as I stare at the mom and watching her cut up the meat, the mother looks at me, Beverly, and says, oh, keep talking, guys. I just don't want you to be distracted. And I'm watching Dawn look at me like, all right, carry conversation. Like, this is normal. So picture this. Gentleman with his hamburger, woman with her steak, mother there cutting the meat for her daughter. As I'm talking to her about what I do for a living, how I got to Providence, the mother decides to feed her daughter. Yeah, you didn't not hear that. Yes, I said that. The mother started to feed her daughter as if she was 4 years old. And I literally sitting there, in awe. At one point, when she took a break from eating, the mother, Beverly, asked me if I needed anything on my plate cut up. And I said, no, I'm good. It's a hamburger. I can do it. She said, well, you haven't eaten. I said, oh, yeah, no, I just was talking. And at the end of the night, toward the end of the night, after a long, interesting conversation, the daughter had asked me to come back for a nightcap. Now, I said, sure, no problem. I'd be more than happy to do that. I says, do you want me to meet up with you? And she says, no, I feel comfortable enough that my mom can go home and, you can bring me home. So I'm thinking, great, we have an opportunity to be by ourselves, no problems, no worries. We get in the car. Now the date really begins. We're having an amazing time. And as we pull up to her home, I noticed that the home was slightly huge, but it had a separate entrance. You see, Dawn lived in a mother-daughter home. The mother's home had a downstairs that the daughter was living in. So when we went into the house, I noticed that there was already music playing, there was candles lit, and there was popcorn being made. We ended up watching a movie together with her mom. And the mother sat in between us. Yeah. And now officially this is where I end today's episode. We're at 17 minutes. There will be a part 2 to this next Thursday. And I'm telling you, it gets creepier and creepier and more bizarre and has a really crazy ending. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode called A Dinner for Two, maybe 3. And we'll talk next week as we conclude a part 2 to this unbelievable bizarre date. For Have Faith, Let It Begin, Crazy Date Story, my name is Angel. I'm sorry I kept you on so long, but I'm sorry to keep you on a cliffhanger. Trust me, you don't want to miss next week's episode. Never forget, have faith, let it begin. Thank you for listening to another episode of Have Faith, Let It Begin. That's right, Ariel. We're done with another show. And it's always great to have this show with you, man love. You know, we're going to encourage each and every person to listen to our show every single weekday. That's right, you and I are going to help change the world. Do you think that you can do that for me? Huh? Yeah, you know you can. She does. We want to let you know, and yes, we encourage you to listen to our show each and every weekday, and it's going to be live at 7:30. Make sure you're subscribed to our show. Make sure you get ready, fasten those seatbelts, because Ariel and I and my family are going to bring you a new topic, a new story each and every day, right? Isn't that right, Ariel? Yeah. And she's smiling at me. Guys, enjoy your day.